you ready? I said, are you ready for Let's Talk Whoa Hockey? And now, here are our hosts, Beth and Zach.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Season 2, Episode 8. Episode number 28, because again, we're on this kick where the numbers just match. I am your host, Beth, joined as always by my dude, Zach. I almost pointed the wrong way. If you can't hear it in my voice, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm stuffy. It's been a day and a half, but we are here. We have hockey to talk about. It's really exciting because there was a lot of relevant Let's Talk Whoa Hockey that happened this weekend. So we are super excited to chit chat about all of that. We are, of course, brought to you as always by our sponsors from In the Clutch Apparel, as well as Level Up Snacks. And I am joined as always by my co-host, Zach. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Just, chilling on this really decent Sunday for weather-wise and stuff like that. And plus, our Hawks were on today against the Kraken. And the season of weird. I'm coining this the season of weird is continuing right now. It's been something else, but I know we're going to talk about it. Other than that, our fantasy league that we're in together with all of our other hockey nerds and friends, I want to eat my team into the sun 2 weeks into the season because
Zach is already in full rebuild mode. We're 2 weeks into the season and Zach is in full rebuild mode. He sent me a trade and I literally laughed at him and was like, no. And then he was like, well, send me a counter offer. And I did. He was like, you're crazy. I was like, hot goaltenders have a high cost because I have Carter Hart right now and the man is on fire.
I might have to circle back, but I know that trade value probably just went up more than what your offer was.
Oh yeah.
It was it was like Yossi in a fourth. And it was Yossi in a fourth for Hart.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm afraid of okay, I'll give you Yossi, but I think the round probably just went up.
The round has elevated because the man is the highest scoring person on my fantasy hockey team. Out of all of the players on my roster, the highest scoring player is Mr. Carter Hart.
I might have to. I might just have to bite the bullet on this one because right now I'm the lowest scoring team and I hate our averages because other leagues that I'm in, you win by categories and you just have a record for the week. Like you're 2-0 or 3-1 or whatever. Mm-hmm. With our averages, even though we still have a record at the end of it, averages are absolutely the worst because I have guys who got already have 6 points on the season, but they're only averaging 1.4, 1.5 when there's other guys getting 3 point somethings. And I'm like, what is happening?
Those are just per game averages. That's not what determines who wins at the end of the week.
Yeah.
It is all based on the number of points you collect throughout the week. So those averages are just letting you know that I use those to reference who should I start over who.
That's what I do too.
So that's all that those are there for. That's nothing. Those are just theirs. That's the average of the number of fantasy points they have earned.
It just hurts because I'll have guys who are not doing that great. I'll sit them and then they'll go off the next game. Then I'll play them and they won't do anything. There's one night I left 14 points on the bench, where the night before they got 5.
See, the other fun part about this league is the rosters are so small. So there's no room. We hate it so much. The roster size, we tried to change it. It was not able to be changed after the draft. So I'm sorry. I just got a text message from Courtney. She just met Isaac Phillips' parents.
No way.
That's
fantastic.
Way to go, Courtney.
You go, best friend.
You go, best friend, but also stay away from the meth pig, guys. If you have not seen
the
Rockford Ice Hogs' new mascot, because they got him a new head and a new body or whatever, he is meth pig. He is terrifying.
That stuff in nightmares.
I will have nightmares for weeks about this pig.
I know they kind of wanted to make him a little bit skinnier, but they
wanted to make him meaner, and I get that, but
they could have all they had to do was just give him a new body. They didn't have to they didn't have to mess with his head.
Yeah,
but they did, and it's worse. And
it's bad.
Absolute.
It's so bad.
What's a worse mascot? That one, I think it's Hammy, right?
I think so.
Well, who's worse, Hammy or Bowie?
I'm sorry. Hammy is much more terrifying than Bowie. Bowie is just like a what in the world is this?
Hammy is
Did you steal a character from the movie Trolls and put it in a Seattle Kraken jersey, and that's your mascot? Hammy is straight up terrifying.
He's the extra off of the new Winnie the Pooh movie, Blood and Honey, which I will not go see because I'm not ruining my childhood with that.
I don't want to ruin Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah,
I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that.
I mean, but I'm just saying, if we're talking Pooh Bears, I hate to say it, but the Boston Bruins reverse retro jersey.
It's Pooh Bear.
It's a French kiss. It's a man. But
shout out to Kev from Belly Up because the man hates Pooh Bear. He hates the Pooh Bear logo. I've been giving him so much crap since the reverse retro jerseys dropped because he wanted Meth Bear.
No,
which is like a super terrifying bear. That's what he wanted. And I'm like, you, sir, will love Pooh Bear.
That's the worst. I think that's the worst Bruins logo. Like that is the absolute, like the way, but the fact of how they did the bottom of the jersey and the cuffs. Like if I had extra throwaway money, I would still get a Bruins one of this reverse retro just for fun because that's how nice they actually look. But I don't. So
there's nothing in my mind that can make me want to buy a Boston Bruins jersey unless it was a Sean Thornton jersey. That's the only Boston Bruins jersey that I would purchase.
Well, I would customize it to be a Sean Thornton jersey.
But see, he would never have worn that jersey. So it just that in my hockey mind, like that doesn't.
It doesn't compute. It doesn't. But yeah, our fantasy rosters though suck.
I mean, yours sucks. I'm leading the league in points this week. Tonight I'll probably break 100 tonight.
I'm talking about roster sizes are the worst because it's like 6 forwards, 4D, and that's it.
Yeah, and a massive bench, and a massive
IR slots too. Like I think we have like 7 IR slots. And
well, honestly, after last season and the season before that, I think we're very IR spot weary because I mean, you remember last season in the league we were in, there was a week where my entire bench was just guys who were hurt, and we had 2 IR spots.
And I I managed to beat you that week
by like a tenth of a point. Because it was when the COVID shutdown happened, and that week ended up being a 2-week long fantasy week. I mean, I came back from being like negative 30 something because I started 2 goalies who lost, like they lost everything. Yeah. They did not tend the goal. They got scored on a lot, and they were both active. And I started, and that happened for a couple days because I was like, they're going to turn it around. They're going to turn it around. They didn't turn it around. And I was like negative 30 something. And I was like, well, that's it. And then came back like that Friday, and I was leading by like a point, like a singular point. Yeah. And I ended up losing that week by like a tenth of a point.
Because I think I had a goalie who got a shutout that night. Like the last night of that week, and won on a shutout.
Yeah. So I mean, slots wise, this is way better than it was last year. I mean, I already have 3 guys on my IR in both the leagues that I'm in, because I drafted Charlie McAvoy in both the leagues that I'm in, and people were like, "Why would you do that?" I was like, "Number 1, IR exists for a reason.
Yeah.
Number 2, he's not out for the whole season. Yeah, he's only out until like December."
Yeah, that's a big brain play. That's not a smooth brain play. Yeah. Like you think like 5 months ahead.
That's big brain. That's thinking towards like the trade deadline, push for the playoffs, where Charlie McAvoy shines. And I have him in both the leagues that I'm in because the boy knows how to do the hockey. Yeah. And I was not leaving him out there in the world just because he's hurt. No. IR slots exist for a reason.
Yeah, like just how the rosters, because that's why we want bigger IR slots and stuff like that. But now it's like, but the way our commissioner formed the rosters, he made it too small with too many guys. Because now, because of course NHL scheduling, everyone plays. Who do you start? But then when no one's playing, you have like 3 guys total on your entire roster starting on the last day of the week. It's like cool.
Cheer, Chuck. This is the 2nd week in a row that I'm calling you out for your nonsense of creating a fantasy hockey league with only 6 forwards and 4 defensemen. You should feel shame, sir.
No utility spots. No, like I said, the league has it where it's like we have like everyone playing, or there's 3 guys total playing on your entire team, and you need 20 something points to come back.
We're no longer on the Jonathan Taves schedule that happened during the bubble season. That schedule was money. Every team played every other night. Like, there was limited travel. Granted, they were playing only in division, but still, I mean, if you went back, if you saw several years ago, the Jonathan Taves schedule, because he actually sat down and like worked it out. Like, this is how we could play our home and homes with out of conference teams. This is how our travel should be. This is what we should be doing. It should be more like baseball, less like this insanity where we're going from New York City to LA to play games and we have one travel day. It's bad for the environment. It's bad for our health. Like, there are some back-to-back games that are literally an entire country away from each other.
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense. And that's why, for fantasy owners, I mean, it's rough for those guys, but even for fantasy owners too, not to that degree, you're at the mercy of good luck picking
The
your
NHL
team
scheduling department.
Yeah, like one night you're playing, you have to pick you have to figure who you want to start. Then the next night you have so many open slots. You're like, I'm not going to gain points tonight because I have no one playing.
Can we talk about last season where there was a day where there were 16 teams playing, and then the next day the only game that was on was the Canadiens versus the Coyotes?
Yeah, we had 16 games, and then we had one game the next day. It made no
And it was the Habs versus the Yotes.
Well, wasn't it this past week where we had like a bunch of games on like what Sunday and
on Thursday we had, because Thursday was one of those like sports equinox days. All 4 major leagues were playing on the same day. Because there's Thursday night football, there's the ALCS or the NLCS. I can't remember which one it was.
It's baseball. Who cares?
There was 12 NHL games on.
And
the NBA season had started that same day as well. So there was games playing from all 4 major male professional sports leagues.
Well, then too, I think, like I said, then I think like the next day there was like no games. Yeah. Or it was earlier this week. Yeah, I think it was like what Monday.
It was Thursday because it was Thursday night football.
Yeah, we had 0 hockey games, even though the night before we had like almost everybody.
Yeah. Next night, look, the NHL scheduling department, I don't know what they're taking, but somehow these schedules make sense in their minds. And it's like, if you were to balance out the games throughout the season, it's better for the players. It's better for the fans.
Yeah.
Because I personally hate, especially like if the Hawks aren't playing and there are 16 teams playing, I hate trying to figure out what game I want to watch. That's one thing I miss about NHL.tv is you could watch 4 games at one time.
Yeah. Now it's like you got one in that set unless you want to try to
you can watch ESPN Plus on your TV and ESPN Plus on your tablet, and that's it, because you can only watch on 2 devices at the same time.
Yeah.
I miss the multi-cam, multi-screen, multi-game situation. I miss that because I would have 4 games on the TV and I would have a game on my tablet, on my iPad. And I would have the commentary on for whatever game I cared about the most, which 99.99999% of the time is a Hawks game.
Right.
But then with the NHL.tv, you could switch. So like if you had your audio on the Hawks game and something was going on in this random like Colorado Avalanche, Carolina Hurricanes game, and you wanted to switch over to that commentary, you just had to move the box over to that game. Yeah. And it would turn the commentary on for that game because something exciting was happening. Or if it was intermission, you could switch the commentary to a different game. I miss that.
Yeah.
I miss that.
Yeah. I know they thought it was huge to go back to ESPN, but I think it's really hampered fan experience of watching more games than just the one. And for like, it's not a fun thing. It's not great. And like going back to scheduling too, real quick, like I posted this on our podcast Twitter. The Hawks were off for 5 days after their West Coast swing. Make it make sense where the team is off for 5 straight days. And then you come back.
First week of the season. Yeah. Not just like 5 straight days off makes sense, like for the teams that played in Europe and had to come back from Europe. 5 days off for that makes sense because there's a lot that goes into adjusting your body back to time zones and et cetera, et cetera. 5 days off makes sense after like the circus trip where you have done the full West Coast swing and you've been on the road for 2 weeks. 5 days off makes sense there because You have just played 2 weeks in Pacific time, and now you have to come over back to Central after not being home for 2 weeks. Like, having that 5 days off then makes sense. Having 5 days off after what? 2 games? Was it 2 games or 3 games? I can't remember.
I think it was like 2
I think it
games.
was
3 games. It was 3 games.
Yeah.
it was because we were one because our last podcast was
we were
1
1,
and
2,
2.
and 0.
And this was Sunday. And we still had to wait until like this past Friday for the first game. So we were like day 1 of like 5 in a row off. So we haven't recorded since they were 1 and 2, and now
they're
back.
3 and 2.
Yeah, and I looked this up on the hockey app. Well, actually, the Blackhawks app, which is fantastic. If you don't have it, it's fantastic. I like the
Blackhawks app is money. I love their game day updates.
It's great. Like you actually get updates. Just how the app is like set up is amazing. It's fantastic,
and it's a really nice app too. And also in game, because I went to the game last April, which I wish the score for the game last April was the same as the score when we played the Kraken today, because I would have loved to have heard Chelsea freaking dagger.
Yeah,
5 times.
5 times.
I would have loved to hear it just one time last April. But I digress. The game day app is amazing too, because you can order food and skip the line. You can order beer and skip the line. You can order merch and skip the line. There's like in-game promotions that you can do. There's like trivia contests and all of these things that you can do in arena in the app. Yeah. To like win prizes and stuff.
Right. And the fact too is like you can actually order the new Blackhawks Goose Island beer
from the arena.
Yeah, I still want to go to Chicago and still go to the UC.
Should we plan a trip?
We might have to, honestly. We might have to, because it should be a lot of fun. I definitely need to go to the Blackhawks there, though, because I do need a new player jersey.
You have to go to Gunzo's and get your white whale jersey.
You might be back there before I will, which is still part of our swapsies trade for a Duncan Keith, and then I don't know. We'll figure something out.
We'll figure it out.
There's also a Johnny Tays one too that we also need to figure out. So maybe a double swappy. Maybe we'll figure
double
something
swappy.
out. Double swappy. Why not? But anyway, I digress. Back to the schedule. But also, yes, we do need to do a road trip regardless, because the UC and the Blackhawks store and Gunzo's and Portillo's.
In Chicago. Portillo's.
In Chicago, yes, of course.
Chicago dogs. We got to go Wiener Circle. We got to go to Portillo's. We got to eat every type of deep dish pizza, because everybody's like, I have my favorite. I'm like, no. You try one of each. Like, don't let someone else choose your favorite deep dish. You try one of each, and then you choose your favorite, because they're all just a little different. One's more saucy, one's more cheesy, one's more meaty. Like they're all different. You got to choose your own.
Yeah, well, of course, go to the Bean, because first in Chicago. I mean,
you have to go to the Bean. I mean,
well, I've driven through
Beanbag.
Beanbag. That's funny, but I mean, I've driven through Chicago for work, but I never stopped. So it's one of those. But so I looked at the schedule after they got back this past Friday until like November, until like the second week in November, where they have like, I think it's like another 4 days off. In the second week, they're gonna have another 3 or 4 days off in the second week of November. This is how stupid the scheduling is. We're gonna have another extended break out of nowhere. Now this break makes sense because this is how the schedule is.
Yeah, I saw the schedule and I was like, they're trying to actually murder them. Like, they are trying to commit hockey team murder.
Yeah, because I tweeted this out last week, and I said, because they're them playing this past Friday, they played today, then they play, what was it, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I think they play like 3 days of the following week too. I think it's like, it was a back-to-back. Then I think it was another Tuesday, Thursday, or something like that. The schedule is so weird. Like, actually, hold on.
The schedule is super weird, and and this is just NHL scheduling. This is one of the things that Jonathan Taves was so pissed about several years ago. Like, the scheduling makes no sense. The schedule made sense during the bubble season.
Yeah,
every other day you had hockey to watch. The travel made sense. The destinations made sense. They weren't flying from LA to Chicago for a home and home to fly the next day to New York to fly to Florida.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, here's the schedule. So they played a back-to-back against Colorado and Vegas, had the 14th off. Then they played San Jose. 5 days off. Last Friday, they beat, we played Detroit.
Detroit.
We're going to talk about that game, of course.
Yes.
Off yesterday, played today, Then they play on Tuesday against Florida, Thursday against Edmonton. Then they're at Buffalo that Saturday, but then they have to come right back to the UC the next night and play Minnesota. After playing a 7 o'clock game the night before in Buffalo, they got to fly back.
At least they're going to get an hour back.
Yeah. Then they play the Islanders on Tuesday, then the Kings on Thursday, and then they're off that Friday. Then they have to go to Winnipeg to play them on that Saturday. Then they get 4 straight days off. Then they play the Kings on the 10th. 2 days later, they play Anaheim, and then they come back and play Carolina the Monday, the 14th, and then St. Louis 2 days later. And then they get 2 days off, and they have a back-to-back against Boston, and then go to Pittsburgh.
I will say the only thing about the 4 days off that makes sense is it's after the game in Winnipeg, because getting to the arena in Winnipeg is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Because the airport is not close.
No,
and
it's not.
It's awful.
Yeah. Like, luckily that's also a 3 o'clock in the afternoon game on a Saturday. Then they have 4 days off. Then they play Anaheim. They play the Kings. 2 days later, Anaheim. Then they fly back. At least they get a day off after that game.
Yeah.
To play a couple, Carolina, St. Louis, 2 days off. Then it's a back-to-back on the road in Boston, home against Pittsburgh, and then 2 days off again. Then they're in Dallas, and then 2 days later they play a 2 o'clock in the afternoon game on 1 o'clock Central on a Friday against Montreal.
I mean,
on a Friday.
If you want to hear some, well, it might be like a school day kids game,
right? But that's the scheduling though. It's like every other day.
Yeah.
For the next 2 weeks, I'm like,
is that Black Friday? Is that the day after Thanksgiving? Because 1 o'clock would make sense if it's the day after Thanksgiving.
I think it was. I didn't.
Okay, so 1 o'clock in the afternoon makes sense for that then, because no one's going to be at work for the most part.
Yeah, and luckily, how my work schedule is, I have Thanksgiving and Black Friday off. So
those are both company holidays for me. So
the only day I get off from my job is Christmas.
But so
Anyway,
I want to circle back a little bit, because we briefly brushed on reverse retro jerseys, and that was the first thing that I wanted to talk about, because those dropped, and they dropped this week. I think it was like Tuesday at 11 or something like that.
No, it was
Thursday at 11. It was one of those T days at 11, and I love the Blackhawks reverse retro jersey. I said this when the concept leaked. Like, I love the jersey. I love that it's plain. I love that it's the barber pole. And I love that they just went with Wardmark, that they didn't put Chief Blackhawk on it. I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding the logo. We understand both sides of it. But I love that they went simple. They threw back to 1937-38.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they went in the way, way back machine, and they combined this jersey with the 75th anniversary jersey that's in my closet and that's on Courtney's wall. They combined those two jerseys.
The 75th one is nice. I like that one.
I love the barber pole. I absolutely love it. I've always loved it. That is the jersey. The 75th anniversary jersey is the jersey I was wearing when I met Bobby Hull when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like, I love that jersey. I've always loved it. When we were going to that event, my dad asked me what jersey I wanted to wear, and I said that one.
Yeah.
So, and that specific jersey is in my closet. He sent it to me for Christmas a couple years ago, but I love the barber pole. I hate Detroit because their jersey is 100% like, hey, bro, I forgot to do my homework. Let me copy yours. I'm going to make sure it doesn't look like I copied from you, but let me copy your homework real quick. That jersey that Detroit designed is based on their 1991 All-Star Game jersey. And it's just like the All-Star jersey was white and red, so they went red and black. Y'all, you are Detroit. Your colors have never been red and black. They have always been red and white.
Yeah, that's the first time they've ever used black on a jersey for them. Mm-hmm. And it's like, Detroit cannot make a good jersey. They've made one with like a weird funky like Detroit Tigers D on the front of theirs before, or they've had like, I don't think Detroit has ever made a good alternate jersey because they don't know how to make an alternate jersey because their logo is so tough to work around because it's literally a winged wheel. You can only do that so many times. Yeah. Unless you make it the Detroit D look somehow nice. Like just.
Well, and here's the thing. Their last reverse retro jersey looked like a practice jersey. Like, it straight up looked like a practice jersey, not even the warm-up jersey situation. Like, it looked
Yeah.
like the jerseys they wore every day at practice.
Yeah, that's what
It
I'm
was
s-
awful.
That's what I'm saying. Like Detroit cannot make a good jersey,
No.
like at all. And for the
No.
Blackhawks one, I don't mind it. I'm just not. I wouldn't shell out money personally for that jersey. I just
I'm gonna
don't.
put it on the Christmas list. Like,
I
I'm
would
pretty
say
sure announcer dad might make that happen
right.
because he knows how much I love the barber pole jerseys. And if we're really, because two of the jerseys it's kind of inspired by are on my wall. It
Yeah.
is really inspired by this jersey
Right.
and this jersey and the 75th anniversary jersey. They kind of took all of those together and were like, they know that we love the barber pole jerseys. We have always
Right.
loved the barber pole jerseys. And so they brought it back, but they brought it back in a way that's respectful. Because
Yeah.
I don't like the logo from the OG barber pole jerseys because it's very like caricature-y. It's that line drawing. I don't like it. I'm
Now,
not a fan.
I would have liked it and probably would have gotten me one if it was like the current logo,
Mhm.
like the actual current logo, or the one that's behind you, the one that's on your door,
Oh, the C with the cross tomahawks? Or this one.
the
This
one
The last
yeah,
reverse retro.
the last reverse retro. If it was like that, the circle logo with the
Mhm.
black, like if it was the circle logo or our current logo on that, I might have been okay with being like, okay, the lines I can get used to, but the logo at least looks clean. For me, just saying Chicago looks like a marquee sign outside of a store or outside.
But that was the style back then because intricate logos weren't really a thing. I mean, they don't have the technology that we have now. So that was very much the style in the 30s and 40s. And I love that it's a full throwback. It's not like a half-ass, like, here's the barber pole, but we're going to throw this random logo on it. Like they went, I mean, if you look at the team picture from 37-38, it is literally a mirror image of that jersey.
No, I get that. Like I said, it's not like I said, it's
Hi, Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly now all of a sudden wants to say something.
Because we're talking very, very spicy about jerseys.
Well, I mean, that's how she was on. Yeah, that's how she was on the other show that I'm on the entire time too. So
yeah,
I even had to be like, "Hey, side note, sorry." So on this one, be like, "Hey, sorry, Kelly again for back-to-back shows wants to make her voice heard." But
Kelly is over here voicing her opinion. I'm pretty sure Kelly is on Team Beth.
Probably, yeah.
It's fine.
But like I said, I don't. It's not the worst jersey of all the ones.
The worst jersey is 1, 2, 3. The Tampa Bay Lightning jerseys are awful. They are awful. I don't remember what hockey account it was that I followed, but they said they made an entire environment for their logo to live in. Logos don't need an environment to live in.
That was Bar. I think that was Bar Down that said that.
Yeah.
No,
I saw so many reviews on it that were all awful that all of the awful reviews are just intermingled in my brain.
No, I would say the worst jersey is Nashville's, and that's not my biased hate for the team. I've seen this jersey before. It's nothing new. They've done nothing. They've literally done this instead of like their blues that this logo was on before. They put it on their mustard yellow, and I think it's worse than it was on their blues because that is literally how bad it is. And I'm sorry, LA Kings.
I love that they brought back the crown. I love it so much. I love it. The
crown is nice, but they've already done this jersey already on their last reverse retros.
They did them in purple. So now they have a home and away set.
That's not really being. That's not being creative. You're just switching the color. That's like what Minnesota did. The Minnesota went from their white to their green. They did nothing different.
So
bad. I mean,
there are a lot of misses in this reverse retro release. The best for me, I am obsessed with the Florida Panthers jerseys. They killed that jersey.
The Florida Panthers really killed it. I really like it's almost like the Minnesota Wave jersey from the Mighty Ducks. That one's nice. The Ducks one is absolutely fantastic because they finally nailed the stripes. They finally
brought back the stripes. They brought back the correct logo that looks correct. I just wish that we could use eggplant. I'm pretty sure that's a Disney thing. We had this discussion with our hockey nerds, and we all came to the consensus that Disney is ruining this for us.
Which is nothing new. I mean, it's Disney. But honestly, So I do take back my Bruins take. I would buy the Bruins one. I would buy the Ducks one because that's nostalgia for me because I used to own the white
If
one.
the Ducks one was eggplant, I would be like, take all of my money.
Honestly,
Thank you.
I would still take it now because of the fact that is plus I would have to get my birthday brother in Trevor Zegras because we both share the same birthday.
Yeah.
I would get it in his number.
I would have to get my birthday twin as well because he was also a Duck. It's only game. Why you have to be mad? Ilya
Brizgalov, yeah. Okay, yeah.
I would have to get Briz. I would have to.
You know what though? Anaheim Ducks, if someone listen to this podcast, please make this your road jersey and make the flip side your home jersey. Get away from the duck foot. It is not a good logo. It is an absolute trash logo. And that weird striping you have on the inside, like that hoop look, that hooping is not it. If you make this your away jersey, do the flip side of it, make the black version of this your home, you would be probably 1B to the Yotes right now in terms of best home away combos in the league.
Yeah. The Yotes reverse retro jerseys, they
are bangers. They go from Desert Night to Desert Dusk.
Sienna.
Yeah, or
Desert Sienna is the actual name of the color. It's the first time it's ever been used as the main color on a hockey jersey. They have fantastic. The Kachina Phoenix, or the Kachina Coyote.
Yeah,
it is stunning.
I think it was stunning. I think it was Jesse from Bar Down that said it's basically like their like dusk to dawn jerseys. Like this is their dusk, and their ones to But it's like the Yotes did fantastic. Like I said, if the Ducks just did their job and made these like their reverse retros, their new aways, and do the flip for their homes.
And while we're at it, just go back to being the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. I'm just saying, like while we're there,
that's also another Disney thing. Probably they probably own the names. Now see, Buffalo almost nailed it. They brought the Buffalo Goat back, but I know they are bringing the one that I really want back as their alternate. But in their current colors with the buffalo head, not it.
Bring back the Buffalo Slug.
No. The jerseys.
Yes. You want to know what I did in Shell 22 after I tanked my interview with the Buffalo Sabres and they still drafted me? I forced them to wear Buffalo Slug jerseys for every game.
Of course you did.
Because I love the Buffalo Slug. I know Buffalo fans hate them. I love the Buffalo Slug. Bring back the Buffalo Slug.
Pittsburgh's
Robo Fancy Formal Man is back.
The Robo Penguin is absolutely fantastic. I love it. They did a great job. The Capitals.
Screaming Eagle. Oh.
And instead of the blue one that was originally on it, they did with the black. Absolutely fantastic. Love it. A lot of people that doesn't like Phillies. I don't mind Phillies. I think it's kind of...
Want to know what I love about Phillies and warm-ups? They're going to be wearing Cooperalls. Cooperalls. They're bringing them back. Zach, I blew up our group chat when they announced that they were bringing back the Cooperalls. People were like, "But what?" I was like, "Cooperalls. That is what we're talking about right now. We are only talking about Cooperalls. They are long hockey pants, and every team needs to wear them with their reverse retro jerseys this entire season for warm-ups."
I mean, the Rangers, they kind of just did a lighter blue of their last reverse retro with Lady Liberty. It's kind of whatever. The Islanders almost nailed it. They
just messed his face up so bad.
The face is messed up, but they missed the waves at the bottom of the jersey because the originals had a wave.
The waves I can discount. His face
is a little, yeah.
I cannot forgive them for what they did to the Gorton fisherman's face. It is awful. It is so bad. Like, I'm glad he's back, but what did you do to him?
Yeah. I mean,
his face is so bad.
The Sharks jersey.
I am obsessed with the Golden Seals version of the Sharks jersey. I love that they went full in. They went full tilt on doing the Golden Seals. They have the color scheme. They have the correct font. I love that is the direction they went because they could have stuck with the teal and black. They could have. Done Sharks in the Seals font, but they went head in and we're like, we're going for it.
It's
And I love it.
like I said, I like it. Is it my top 10? No, I like it. I think they did a pretty. I want if they go white skates, then we're talking. But just the jersey by itself, it's middle of the pack for me. But if they go full in with the white skates and everything, then we're actually talking about something. The Stars one, I like they went back to the original Stars logo. I'm not a fan of the sleeves. Like,
no, I'm not a fan of the sleeves. I'm not a fan that they didn't go Mooterous.
I really wouldn't care if it wasn't Mooterous. If they're going back to the original logo, you gotta go back to almost how the original jersey looked. Like the sleeves are a little much. Like,
well, similar to like the Avalanche jersey, because they went back to their original sleeves from the founding of their team.
That's
they
what
went
Dallas
back to the original sleeve style, but they went with the Colorado flag colors with the Colorado C on the front, because they can't use the original Colorado Rockies logo because it doesn't belong to their franchise. It belongs to the New Jersey Devils, who did like the Kansas City Scouts Colorado Rockies throwback. Like, they went for it. And then it's like another situation where it's like, hey bro, let me borrow your homework real quick. I promise I'll make sure it looks like we didn't copy each other.
Well, that one, though, I can't blame the Devils for it, because it actually is their team history. Colorado using the flag as their reason, it's kind of like that's a catch-22. Like, you can't.
It is, but they've used knockoff versions of the Colorado Rockies logo before. It was their blue jerseys last year. They did a similar jersey for, I think it was their Stadium Series game with the gigantic numbers on them.
Oh, you know they should have
numbers.
Done? You know what they should have done with these colors?
It should have been reversed. It should have been dark.
The Yeti foot in these colors.
No, they absolutely look. Since the day they announced that they were doing reverse retros again, what was the logo I said I wanted the Avalanche to use?
Yeti foot.
The Yeti foot. When I lost my bet, when it came to the Stanley Cup outcome, what Avalanche tattoo did I go with?
The Yeti foot. You had to.
I mean, these are literally traced from Pavel Francouz's mask, because I loved his mask.
Oh, well, who doesn't love Frankie? I mean, he's amazing.
I mean, come on now. The only Frankie I love more than him is JJ Frankie JJ.
Yeah. Jacques Jean-Francois, Jacques Jean.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, yes. Seattle, real quick. Nailed it.
No, sir.
Okay,
no, sir.
Well, they nailed it in the sense that they did the color scheme correctly. It's just they're missing a red. They're missing some red.
Here's the thing. Seattle doing a reverse retro jersey is already like kind of like the first reverse retro around when they were like, Vegas is doing a reverse retro jersey. We're like, bro, you're a year old. How can you do a reverse retro jersey?
I like how Vegas tried to give them crap for it. It's like, guys, you did it like not even 3 seasons ago. Calm your shit.
Yeah. And there is literally nothing different about the logo. It is the exact same logo.
You should have done the anchor. And
they should have done a full throwback
to the Seattle Metropolitans 1917 Cup team.
They should have gone full throwback. They should have gone with the color scheme. They should have gone with the S and it just saying Kraken instead of Metropolitans.
Oh no, on the inside of the S it said Seattle.
But like they could do like something Seattle Kraken whatever inside the S. But
they could have actually
done the
barber pole like they had back
then. They
could
have done the exact same thing that the Sharks did. They could have taken that Metropolitans jersey and turned it into a Kraken jersey by simply updating the logo. Instead of it saying Seattle, it says Kraken.
That would have been nice. Yeah,
I agree. They could have used the red and white color scheme. They could have used the barber pole. You don't have the history to have a historical retro jersey. So what you need to do is you need to go back to your team who in 1917 won the Stanley Cup.
The first U.S. team
to ever win the Stanley Cup. You need to throw it back to the history of hockey in your city, and you need to bring that jersey back. Because the only thing they did is they added some light teal stripes to their current jersey. That is all they did.
I mean, if they really wanted to keep it just to their team, they could have done the anchor. If they wanted to stay with their team. Now, here's another team. because I know you and me are going to be on another show doing a full ranking tier list, which I'm excited for to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be fun. Vancouver's, I
I like the lumberjack. I like him. I think he's adorable.
My one critique is just there's so much green on the bottom of the sleeves. They threw like no striping
It's
in
so
it.
green.
But honestly though, they did throw back because they used to have numbers on the top corner of their jerseys. I forget what year it was, but these ones are actually good. Like I don't mind these ones, other than the fact that there's a little bit too much green. If they added like maybe a couple extra stripes or lowered the green down some, I think Vancouver's would have been a 10 out of 10. I give this a 9.5.
Yeah, it's
still
a good
love
solid like 9.2 in my book because I love the logo. I love that they went with the lumberjack.
It's very clean.
It's the colors that are throwing me off. And
I think it's just too much green on the sleeve.
Yeah, it's too much green on the sleeve, but I love like in
Everything
my
else
heart
is
of hearts
fine.
because you know that I love ugly sweaters. I do. I can't help it. I love them. In my heart of hearts, I wanted them to go back to the Rainbow V. The orange.
No.
Look, you know that I am the way that I am. I wanted the Mooterus. I wanted the Buffa Slug. I wanted the throwback to the gigantic V jerseys, but
no,
I knew it wasn't going to happen, and it's fine. I get it. The Flying Skate would have been another fantastic option.
The Flying Skate would have been a fantastic pick. For me, and I've said, I think we talked about this. I do not like their current Vancouver jerseys. If they went back to the gradient jersey with their current logo,
their previous reverse retro with the ombre blue to green, yeah, I love that jersey.
If that blue to green ombre was their current, I would have no problem with it. I would even somehow ask it for as a random present from someone, like a friend or family member. Like, I wouldn't buy it myself, but I would be like, I want this ombre Canucks jersey because it looks clean. Their current ones are boring. Yeah. This, I would not mind copying one of these. Even the fact that the sleeve is a little too green for like if they lowered that green down some to maybe like a couple, like maybe like a 2-inch block, 100%.
Instead of the like 4-foot block of color that they have on the bottom of the.
Yeah, I would still get this regardless because it still looks pretty clean. I like this one.
Yeah. Here's so I need to step on my soapbox for a moment, Zach, and I think as soon as I start talking, you're going to know where I'm going with this. So I actually really like Vegas's jerseys. I like the font that they chose. It's very Las Vegas. Like that is a very Vegas font. I love that they have the black, the gold band. I love that they have the red. I love that this jersey glows in the dark. People, the word Vegas glows in the dark. You want to know what I don't love? I don't love
I know it's gonna
that the women's cut jerseys do not glow in the dark. Exactly what changes in the fabric and structure of a hockey jersey that makes it so the women's cut cannot glow in the dark, but the men's cut they're all going to glow in the dark? Like what changes? Nothing. Zero things. Number one, women's cut jerseys are stupid. They are stupid.
And I don't know a lot of people that get the women cut jerseys because it just like it looks skinnier. It looks like the cut on the top.
It's cut to show off your curves. I'm wearing a hockey jersey. You shouldn't see my curves in this. This should look like a tent. It should look like a tent that is comfy with big flappy arms.
I don't know a lot of people that get the women's cut jerseys. Like none.
But
like you're getting if you're getting a hockey jersey, you want a hockey jersey. You want what it looks like, what the team wears.
Want a sweater. And here's the thing: even in the PHF, they don't wear women's cut jerseys. That Allie Monroe jersey is a standard friggin' hockey jersey. It is a hockey jersey like this Jonathan Taves jersey, like these Publix and Ninja Turtle jerseys, like that Patrick Kane jersey, like that reverse retro jersey. That jersey is a hockey jersey. It is not a women's hockey jersey. It is a hockey jersey.
Vegas do better.
And here's the thing. I don't know if it's Vegas or if it's Fanatics.
Well, let's say a mix of both just to cover our bases.
Mm-hmm. It's probably, I would say it's probably like a 60-40 split. Yeah. I would say that Vegas is probably on the 40% side of the 60-40 split. And Fanatics is just lazy because, let's be honest, they're lazy. and they didn't want to put any extra work into something.
Also, Adidas. Don't forget, Adidas they do make the jersey. So actually, there could be like a 3-way split of blame here. It could also be Adidas not wanting to do it for the women's cup, but the men's cup they're fine with,
which is dumb. Everyone loves glow in the dark things. Do not take the glow in the dark fun just because someone wants to buy a women's cut jersey. There is nothing different about that jersey other than the way you cut the fabric. Yeah. The logo letters are the same. They're going to be the same size. Stop it. It is 2022. This is unacceptable.
For sure. Definitely unacceptable. So we might as well just do all the jerseys while we're at it because we've done a lot of them already. Toronto's, you've done nothing different.
Toronto looks like a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey. Like the end.
There's nothing different. Sucks to suck. I don't think Tampa's is the worst. Tampa, I like Tampa.
I think it's awful.
It harkens
it's too
back
busy.
Harkens back to the 90s.
It's too busy.
The Jets jersey. Add some red. There's no red. The original logo had some red. I
kind of dig the simplicity of the Jets jersey, though. And ironically enough, the Jets jersey looks like a damn Iceman jersey. Like,
it does. It really does. I just add a little bit of the red on the plane somewhere. Just add some, other than just light blue and blue. Just give me some red just to spice it up a bit. It's too blue for me.
The Edmonton jersey, I love it. I love the meteor. I love the meteor oil drop. I love the color blocking on the sleeves.
It's a lot better. It's a lot better than the first one because the first one was just all blue. It was blue, light blue, and gray.
It was so blue. It was like.
I like the fact that they actually added some orange to the striping, and the oil drop actually is orange to match Oilers because that one's nice. Bailey and Kat don't like the Calgary jersey because of the way that the bottom part sticks up. I don't
like the weird stripe thing. I don't like it.
It does harken back to Iggy's first season in Calgary.
It does, but I don't like it.
It's weird. It's
an interesting choice. It's not bad.
I see why. I can't
wait to see Nazem Kadri wear it. Like, it's not bad.
The white C though, the white C is clean.
It's clean. I wish there was a little more color in the logo.
I agree with you there. Detroit we already talked about. Montreal.
The Montreal. I love the look. Baby blue is so hot right now. Baby blue is so hot right now. I love what they've done with this jersey. They, instead of it being red and white and blue, they went with it was the Expos, right? Was the Montreal baseball team?
Yeah,
they went with Expo blue. And I love it. It makes the C pop.
Yeah, I think they did a pretty good job with it. It's just another Habs jersey, but it's baby blue instead of like a red or a white. Like the striping isn't really different.
There is one change I would make on that jersey.
What's that?
So if you look at the Oilers jersey, see where the numbers are? They're in the stripes. I wish that's how the numbers were on the Habs jerseys.
Move the numbers down in the stripe, make the stripe a little bit wider, make the numbers red.
Yes.
Make the number red with a white outline on that inside that blue. Okay. Now we're cooking with something. That would be nice.
The Senators jersey just looks like a Senators jersey.
It's basically goes back to like their mid 2000s jerseys. They kind of a mix of two different ones. The font's okay. It's another middle of the road jersey. It's decent. It's decent at best. I'm not going to say it's okay. Yeah. Columbus. It's basically like your last reverse retro instead of having the red front, which the last reverse retro was almost blinding on the eyes. This one is just as bad, except now it's the dark blue with the light blue on the sleeves, and that's all you just change colors. You've done nothing different.
Hate the stars on the sleeves. I hate them.
I see. Well, because that does harken back to the original jerseys of the stars.
It does, but I hate them.
Now, I wouldn't mind the stars if they did it to the original jersey look. If they brought back the original CB with the hockey stick in it. And just had the sleeves. If they went back to what their original jerseys looked like, with a little bit of a twist to it, then we'd be saying something. But the fact that this literally looks like the last one, except you just changed the colors from like blinding your eyes red to blue, not here for it. Yes, Beth.
It should be 2 cross cannons. I know there's nothing to say because I had an idea and it was beautiful.
Are you harkening it back to a former podcast, or are you just saying this because it's just
no, like the third jersey, how it's got
'cause
the circle logo with the cannons in it. It
Yeah.
should be True Cross cannons. Anyway, Zach, don't kill me. I hate the Canes jersey.
Oh,
I hate it.
I know it's a mixed bag. I mean, I'm still getting. I'm getting it for Christmas. I'm not.
Yeah, like I love that they put the flags along the bottom. Just going with Canes.
All it is just it's their road whites are now just red jerseys.
Yeah,
like I'm not upset by it. I understand. Like there's a lot of mixed reactions. I just like it because I don't have the white jersey yet, but I kind of like how they went back to like the black warning flags at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Sells Canes across the front. It's a clean look. I like it. I still want to get it because it's a jersey, because it's a Canes one and it's a Christmas present. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to be upset by that take because I've seen a lot of mixed reactions. Like, Bailey doesn't like it either.
Yeah,
it's all right. I understand.
They literally took their away jersey, turned it red, and were like, "Here you go, guys. We gave you these sick 25th anniversary jerseys, and we took all of our creative juices for those."
Well, that's
dropped the ball.
That's basically what we said too. It's like because after you drop the 25th anniversary jerseys,
the bar is very high.
Yeah, like the only thing I would have done differently is if they did the red, just throw back to the original OG warning flag with just the single flag and throw those on the front. Then it'd be a different conversation. But it is what it is. I'm not upset by it.
And last and very obviously least, because
I mean this wouldn't be a Blackhawks podcast without talking about these clowns last, because
the St. Louis Blues went with a jersey they never ever wore.
Yeah, because this was a concept jersey. This was going to be their original jersey. They never pulled the trigger on this jersey, and I can see why. Because
the yellow is awful. It looks like the color of like a Happy Kitchen.
It's basically it's a not as mustard yellow as the like. I like how they put Nashville and St. Louis right next to each other, because we hate both of these teams equally. Maybe more so the Blues more because it's the Blues, but they're both bad. The striping is an absolute hot mess on the bottom of the jersey and on the sleeves. Like that huge massive block of blue at the bottom of the sleeve.
It's weird.
It's
that block of blue would have been great in between the stripes. Leave the bottom of the sleeves that very happy yellow. Move the blue up between the stripes. And again, put the numbers in between the stripes.
I don't really mind the numbers where they're at, because it's not as egregious as some of the other ones.
But stripes like that, to me, like that is something that Edmonton really nailed. When you have stripes like that,
you put the numbers
those stripes need to have the numbers in them.
Right.
Look at Chicago did the same. The black stripe has the numbers in it.
Right. Yeah. I agree with you on that one. For the Blues one, it's not as egregious. I would have been all right where the numbers were at for these ones, but like I agree with you though. The fact that it's so much blue at the bottom, it's almost I think it's worse than Vancouver's, because at least Vancouver's it's blue and green. They look nice together. This version of the blue with all this yellow and the fact that it's so much blue at the bottom it's not a good look. And the fact that they went with a yellow stripe and then more yellow than it's just all blue out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It looks so odd. The logo on the front,
I like the dimension that comes with having the weird curve, different letter size. Like I do like that. I don't know. I just
honestly, I like the musical note because it's not as weird as their current one, where it's like three different fans up top, and then it's the note at the bottom. I like how it's just a normal one note. But yeah, like the different.
You mean like the St. Louis Blues?
Hey, it's just weird, like how the St. Louis part is different than the Blues part. Like the the naming font is different. The curvature is not at like the size of the lettering is different on the top and the bottom.
And the fabric is different in St. Louis and in Blues. Like the backing is different.
Yeah, because it's blue on yellow, and the Blues part is blue and white.
Yeah,
I don't mind the shoulder striping. The shoulder striping is actually probably the nicest thing on this jersey.
Yeah. I do
Other
like a different shoulder striping situation, like not just the standard, like these are my shoulder caps.
Yeah. It's just this Blues one's got so much going on, and it's not in the good way.
Mm-hmm.
I would, because I know, like I said, I know we're gonna go on another show. We're gonna do like a full like tier ranking, like who's the best, who's A through D, and then we're gonna do like who's the delete these.
Yeah.
I would say if I had to pick a top 3 right now, no, actually, I'll do top. Let's do top 5. I say top 5.
Let's save it. Let's save it for the show because
Okay.
we're gonna be super sassy on there. We're already at almost an hour, and we have like actual hockey to talk about.
Yes,
so
you're right.
Before we start talking about the actual hockey, we want to give you guys all of the deets on our amazing sponsors. So as always, we're going to start with our friends at In the Clutch Apparel. If you head over to intheclutch.com, you're going to find officially licensed merchandise across all of the different sports in the world, not just hockey. You can take a look and see. There's even some of our podcast friends who have their merch on there as well. And when you get over to checkout, just pop in the code WOHOCKEY. That's going to give you 10% off of your order because we like saving you guys money because it's what we do. And of course, we have our friends at Level Up Snacks where you still shop at shoptohydrate.com. They are still, again, they're working on leveling up these snacks. It's just going to take time, you guys. It's just going to take time. But they have amazing, super nice energy drinks. Like not the, like, I want to scratch my face off or I'm going to like, I don't need to take a car somewhere because I'm just going to like vibrate down the road because I have so much energy. Like it's not a bad energy drink. You don't feel like jittery and shaky and you don't have like that crash once you kind of start coming down. It's super easy to use as well. It's just a little pack of powder. You put it in a blender bottle with some water and you shaky and you drinky and you're going to be good to go for several hours. And at the end of it, you're not going to be like, oh gosh, I need to just like go pass out now. You're just going to feel like your normal little less energy self. So if you head over to shoptohydrate.com, you're going to pop in WOHOCKEY at checkout for 10% off of your order. And Zach, you grabbed something. So I hope that it's because you're going to be participating in.
Unfortunately, these ones don't have the other ones on. Sorry.
It's our friends at Canadips.
Sorry.
I mean, I have fingernails, so I actually like tap on it.
Oh, so there. I mean, I have the plastic ones on hand, but I mean,
so we love Canadips, both Zach and I. These are 10 milligram dip pouches of CBD. The great thing about them is there's no like spitters necessary. You don't have to worry about like carrying around an empty bottle and then like mixing it up with the drink that you're drinking and all of that fun stuff. You just pop in a pouch, you just leave it, just let it be, just let it hang out in there and you can swallow your own saliva. And when you're done, if you have Zach's cool plastic containers, which honestly most of them are going to, you can open up the top and discard of your dip pouch because we do not litter. That is not cool, people. So they have a lot of really amazing flavors. They seem to come out with flavors. Oh, look at Zach giving you a demonstration of how to utilize the Canadips. But they have a lot of amazing flavors. They come out with new flavors all the time. It is absolutely insane. We all have our favorites. I mean, Blue Dream is one of my favorites, and it tastes like, if you're a 90s kid, it tastes like blue. We all know what blue tastes like. Zach has, what is that? Pina colada.
The pina colada. I think the pina colada one's my favorite. I also got the watermelon, which is also another good one. I'd have to say that like the ice cream cake is pretty solid, but I definitely say probably the pina colada one's really good, and I do like the mango ones are pretty solid too. I'm still mad about the peach. That one hurts, but because they also did Pineapple Express, but the problem is with that one,
it was only in like a multi-pack.
But they also now have one called Black Widow, and I kind of want to try that one out because it does sound pretty sweet. Not gonna lie to you.
I mean, to each their own. That doesn't sound like something I'd want to try just because we have Black Widows here and I'm terrified of them. Zach, I'm gonna have you take over for a second because I have to sneeze. So you go ahead and tell them where to go to get their Canadips.
Yeah, of course. So if you go to candips.com/belly up, you can get 20% off your order. Or if you just go to checkout and just put belly up, you also get that discount as well. If you just put it in manually when you go and check out, it's simple to use. It's great. A lot of great flavors, like Beth said. So it helps us out. It helps the network out. Plus, it helps out Candips to show that, we sent you and, they can give us some, cool stuff if we get enough sales. And like I said, the flavor's amazing. It helps me out for my anxiety and my depression and all the sports injuries I have, knees and ligaments and everything else. And I know for Beth, I know for you, same thing with your mental health and stuff. It's like it's a great product to have. I would highly recommend it to anyone. Like I said, the flavors are amazing. It's like it's just there's no tobacco. It's just straight
literally the
hemp.
only thing I wish that candidates helped with was allergies, so that I would not be in the state that I'm in right now.
Yeah.
That is the only thing that I wish that it helped with. It's the only thing in my life that it doesn't help with.
They're not miracle workers here, but I mean,
I know. So head on over to candidates.com/bellyup to get that 20% off. And now, I mean, the title of this episode is We Are Confused. You too? Because, like, if you look at my sign here, I've added a question mark to the end of hashtag Tank for Bedard. Because for the first time, hold on, Ben Pope actually tweeted this stat out, and I screenshotted it for the podcast today. For the very first time since, the first time the Hawks have been a real above 500 team since they were 13-7-5 on March 6th of 2021. Like, they are 3-2-0 to start the season. We all remember how last season started. It wasn't great. And it's like, I'm confused because we're supposed to be like not good. And like we're coming from behind and winning games. The last 3 games, we've won 3 games in a row. And the last 3 games, we came back from a 2-0 deficit to win the game. And I'm confused as well because the current goals, assists, and points leader for the Blackhawks is Sam Lafferty. And
so you're saying it's Laffy Taffy time?
It's Laffy Taffy time. And I mean,
I don't get it either because, like I said, we'll talk about the last. We'll talk about the last couple of games. We're looking at stats real quick. This is absolutely like you said, it's absolute bonkers right now. Actually, no, it's Tyler Johnson and Sam Lafferty. They're both at 5 because they both have 2 goals and 3 assists apiece.
The stats hadn't updated from the game today when I went and looked.
They are updated.
Because Tijani scored, I believe it was his first 2 goals as a Blackhawk today. Like,
well, his first multi-goal game with the Hawks.
Oh, that's what it was. His first multi-goal game as a Blackhawk.
Yeah, so he got 2 today, which, like I said, we'll talk about. So yeah. It's him and Laff. The new boy Dickinson, 4 points. Third on the team. Then you got Max Domi with 3 points, all goals. Mm-hmm. Seth Jones, 3 points, all assists, and he's got a 0 for plus minus. But
that's a miracle.
Patty Kane, only 3 assists so far in 5 games, but I think he'll turn around at some point. I think we do have questions today too. So
we do.
We'll get to that. Kurashev with 3, Taylor Radich with 3, Johnny Toes has 3. It's 2 goals and an assist.
Mm-hmm. Jonathan Taves, for the first time ever as a Blackhawk, scored the season opening goal. In 17 years, he has never scored the first goal of the season until this year.
I thought this was season 16 for him.
It's season 16. But he has been in the league technically for 17 years. He took the year off with all of the health issues.
Right. Anthony Steve's got 2. Jack Johnson's got 2. Blackwell got 1. That was an assist today. Jujar Kara's got 1, and that's from this goal from today. Connor Murphy's got 1, and then we have a bunch of guys at 0. It's Whistle, Reese Johnson, Caleb Jones, Jake McCabe, Ruse, and Tenorti. And then goalies. Pierre Mrazek, goal 1 win, 1 loss, 3.76 goals against, 8.73 save percentage. Then Alex Stalock is 2-1 with a 2.14 goals against and a 9.38 save percentage. He went from a 0.97 goals against to a 2.14 after giving up 4 goals today. But he has a save percentage of 9.38. And I picked him in my fantasy team today. He got me a win despite giving up 4 goals.
So the other stat that got dropped today, which just blew my mind. Last season, the Blackhawks had 2 shorthanded goals all season. The entire season, They scored 2 shorthanded goals. We are at game 5 of the season, and the team has scored 4 shorthanded goals.
Four shorties.
4 shorties, and we've scored a ton of power play goals too. Like,
What are we what Beth, what is happening with our Hawks? Like,
I don't know, because I came into this season fully prepared, like fully mentally prepared.
we both
to
were.
go 82 and 0. Like, I was ready for it. We have Peter Mrazek and Alex Stalock are our goaltenders.
And
I was prepared for pain. Our team is above 500 for the first time in almost like over a year and a half. They are above 500.
Alex Stalock is playing with like a sub 2.2 goals against and a 930 something save percentage. Like, he's literally our best goalie right now. Who would have thought that, Alex Stalock is our best goalie right now, and he's actually winning us games and actually doing his. No, he did give some pretty bad goals today. They were pretty bad.
There were several times where I messaged Zach and Courtney, and I was like, let me put on my best Steve Dangle voice, because if you are a goaltender, 10 the goal! The goal.
Yeah, that one was pretty bad. But I want to get back to the last game real quick, just because of the fact that we won in overtime. So
the Red Wings game?
Yeah, Red Wings game. So it was 2-0 after the first, because it was Peter Suter and Larkin. That was a power play goal. Anthony Ciu scores. Then Dominic Kubalik, of course it had to be, made it 3-1. Yes, made it 3-1.
Kubi went to the Red Wings, and I'm still getting confused that seeing a number 8 on the ice in a Blackhawks jersey is like, my brain hasn't switched that over to Jack Johnson yet. It is still Dominic Kubalik in my brain. And then they're like, Johnson with the puck. I'm like, oh yeah, that's not Kubes.
Yeah. Philip Kurashev scored, and then Connor Murphy with a short-handed goal.
Shorties. Everybody's getting shorties. Look, everybody's gonna get a shorty this year for Christmas on the Blackhawks. Like,
yeah, and and that's the one that tied it at 10:06.
Mm-hmm.
And then Max Domi, with his second of the season, wins it in overtime. Somehow that happens, and here we are. And then today,
and that was my first bit of confusion, because I didn't update the board until right before we started recording, because I was certain that I was just going to move the 2 over from where the 1 was and replace the 3. But I put the 1 away and had to put a 3. And I'm very confused. Like, we're 4th in the Central right now. 4th in the Central. 4th.
Yeah.
We are 2-0-0 at home.
Yeah.
We are 1-2-0 on the road. Like,
we've won 3 straight games.
Sam Lafferty and Tyler Johnson are tied for the lead in points on this team. They've scored 4 shorthanded goals. I don't even know how many power play goals they've scored, because they scored 2 today. They scored 2 in Colorado?
Yes, they did score. Yeah, because that was the only 2 goals we had in Colorado, was those 2 power play goals.
Because that day I was like, okay, so we're only scoring power play goals this season. And now it's like, okay, we're only scoring special teams goals this season?
Now we're scoring just shorties? Yeah, so here are the stats today. Obviously 5-4. Seattle outshot the Hawks 34-27. The Hawks outblocked them 15-10.
Thank you, Connor Murphy.
The hits.
We out-hit the crap out of them. I remember hearing that.
Seattle had 8. The Hawks had 40. 4-0. 4-0 to 8. They were pummeling them in face-offs. Seattle 18. The Hawks 41.
Thank you, Jonathan Tapes, for doing the thing that you're really good at still.
Power play 2 for 3. Seattle 0 for 4. Penalty kill did their job. So
the penalty kill did more than their job, because not only was there a PP 0 for 4, there was also a shorthanded goal.
Of course, because of course it was. So the Kraken was up 2-0 early. Jeremy McCann and then Andrei Burakovsky. Because of course Burakovsky figured out how to score goals now, other than
missing the net.
or ripping holes in the top of the net because
That was
why
a
not?
beautiful goal.
That
Like, number
was.
one, the fact that it happened against Nashville was just perfection. But the fact that that puck went through the net
It was
and
on
play
brand.
continued. And then they were like, wait a minute. Stop everything. And then they went to the review and I was like, it went through the net. That went through the net.
Yeah, that's basically on brand for Burakovsky last year. Now all of a sudden he's figuring out how to score goals normally.
Yeah.
So Gio Akira, shorthanded goal for his
That
first
goal
of the season.
was beautiful.
How about Colin Blackwell getting his first assist of the season on that goal too?
But the setup for that goal, I mean, Jujar was in the right place at the right time. Martin Jones was on the other side of the crease. He was totally not prepared for that pass, and Jujar just had a wide open net.
Yeah, you love to see
there
it.
There was nothing in his way at all.
It was fantastic. You love to see
beautiful.
It was beautiful. And then special teams comes into play very late into the first period, 19-18 into the first. We're down to we're clicking off seconds now.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Johnson for his first of the season on a power play goal set up by Seth Jones and Patty Kane.
Yeah.
To tie the game at 2, which I mean
there was so Seth Jones took a double minor because he high-sticked Brandon Tanev and broke his tooth.
Oh, and yeah.
I messaged Courtney and I was like, we're safe now because Seth Jones is in the box. Because the first or the second Seattle goal was from an awful Seth Jones turnover. It was
I think that was the Burakovsky goal.
Yeah, it was bad. It was an awful turnover. It was not great.
It's Seth Jones. I mean, I don't know why his brother's getting crap. It's Seth who's the worst of the Jones.
Caleb is so fast, and he tied his brother for scoring and makes 1/10 of the amount of money as him last year. So, he was in the box for 4 minutes, and I could breathe for a second because I wasn't worried about random defensive zone turnovers that lead to goals.
Or being outside of the zone to take a pass.
That sound clip is the best.
Oh, and you see Patrick Kane just lifting his hand up, going and you see him go, "What the fuck?"
You can hear it on the broadcast.
Oh, Patty was not happy.
The UC woke up when the score was tied, when the second goal went in, that power play goal at the end of the end of the first. The United Center woke up. It was
loud,
silent in the UC prior to that. It was, you could hear all of the hockey sounds because there were no crowd sounds.
Yeah.
None. And that is the thing about this season that hurts me the most is the UC not very loud, not like it used to be. The UC used to be a tough building to play in, regardless of what the team's record was. In the 90s, the UC, it wasn't the UC for some of the 90s, but Chicago Stadium was a tough building to play in for many reasons. Number one, you had to go up a set of stairs to exit the visiting locker room.
Yeah.
Number two, it was loud. There's a reason the nickname for Chicago Stadium in the United Center is the Madhouse on Madison.
Yeah.
And that's gone. And that's tough.
Yeah, because unfortunately now where the team is at, it's even despite record, it's the ownership hasn't done nothing really good. There's a lot of team history now around the team. The coaching carousel is an absolute joke right now, other than with our current head coach.
I'm so glad we have Luke.
I wish we had him sooner. We'll get into that whole conversation later too.
I feel like that's going to have to be a conversation for next week.
Yeah, it's just where we're at right now. It's just so much turnover with this team, and the fact that all the guys are gone now. Hawks fans literally have seen a team not even 6 years ago won the President's Trophies to now where you're looking at Taze and Kane and a bunch of dudes.
Well,
that's where
we're looking at Sam Lafferty, Tyler Johnson, Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, and a bunch of dudes.
Oh, Alex Stalock, because we have to give him respect now because
we do, and Alex Stalock as the goaltending. And Peter Mrazek is hurt right now, so It's going to be an interesting couple of days with the schedule the way that it is.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's gonna be brutal. But then 32 seconds into the second period, Max Domi gets his third of the season.
And we had the lead.
We had the lead. And of course it was Seth Jones and Patty Kane getting their second assist of the game for their thirds of the season. And
then we lost the lead
to Vince Dunn. Tied it up. I think because it was 4-3 after the second. Yeah. Sorry, I'm still trying to get used to this app half the time. Yeah, so Vince Dunn regained the lead, got his first of the season. McCann got his third assist. Larson's got his first assist of the season. You're like, all right, well, cool. Here we go. We're
back. Okay, we're back. Like, I literally, in the second intermission, I was like, okay, we are back on track. We are right where we were supposed to be. We are losing again. Perfect.
And then Tyler Johnson once again says, not so fast, my friend. Because at 12:57 in the third period, he scores his second goal of the game and of the season.
And we went on Tyler Johnson Hattie Watch, which is not something that I thought we were going to say this season.
That was Tays' first assist and Tyler Radish's second assist of the season. Excuse me. Second assist of the season. Now we're retied again. We're like, okay. And then 13 seconds later, something about the Hawks and scoring back-to-back goals really quick is interesting, to say the least. Jason Dickinson, the new guy.
Just
second
that goal was like
insanity. Like unassisted too. Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was from almost the same exact spot.
Yeah.
Where the second Tyler Johnson goal came from 13 seconds earlier.
Yeah, I mean, 17 seconds and 13 seconds basically just comes down to the Hawks like to score 2 goals
really quick.
But the 17-second one still is the best though. But
the great thing I loved about the fourth goal is you saw a lot of vintage Taves in that goal because he was behind the net, saw an open Tyler Johnson, and just a perfect pass.
Yeah, like
and T Johnny just went top shelf because we all know that's where Mama hides the cookies.
Yeah, like
it was stunning.
Yeah, for the fact that like Jack Johnson scored a goal already this season, Tyler Johnson went on a worldie today. Basically, it's the only Johnson and Johnson that I like to get something of like this caliber injected.
Is Reese Johnson up with the big boy club, or is he?
I'm not sure.
Because I know right before game start, the ref was like at the Hawks bench talking to Luke and asking him questions, and they were joking. They were joking about how there were 3 Johnsons on the roster.
Yeah, Reese Johnson is with the big boys. He's only played 1 game so far. We have 3 Johnsons. So you have Johnson, Johnson, and Johnson. But basically,
it sounds like a law firm.
It does, but honestly, like JJ and TJ are the only Johnson and Johnson I want you injecting anything into my veins because it's just fun and do. Thank you very much. I'm here until Thursday, but I mean, it's wild where the Blackhawks are at right now because we're going to start doing more live tweeting for Hawks games on the podcast account because it's kind of fun to do so. And because why not? But it's like, oh my gosh, like we're live tweeting a game and I don't want to be like, this game is great. It's like, oh my gosh, we got goals. Like we're doing gifts. We're having fun. It's like, what is happening? We have
like the most generic law firm name out of players on this team ever because we have Johnson, 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 Jones, and Jones.
The sign, if we ever had, if there was ever a law firm,
5 J's.
Like, welcome to the 5 J's law firm. How we make your day.
Yeah,
it's just like whoever has to make that sign for like that law firm is just like looking at someone's going, this is so ridiculous. Like, there's no way we're going to do all these Johnson and Joneses.
And the hilarious part is the 3 Johnsons are not related, and the 2 Joneses are.
Honestly, they should just shorten and call it the Johnsons and Jones law firm because like why waste all that space? It's just
so the Hawks continue to confuse us this season. We were confused last week. I mean, we were very transparent with our confusion last week when this board said 1-2-0 instead of 0-3-0. And now they've won 3 games in a row and they're in 4th place in the Central. And like I'm literally waiting for the other shoe to drop when it comes to this season because Like, this isn't supposed to be what's happening. It's not. So
like some Alex Dallek comes out of nowhere, plays out of his mind. Like Tyler Johnson and Sam Lafferty carry the Hawks.
I mean, when we were on with From Center Ice, I did say there were two ways this season would go.
Yep.
We were either going to be 32nd in the league, or by some weird magic, we were going to end up winning the cup and also still getting the first round draft pick.
First overall.
That's what I meant. I'm sorry, guys.
I know what you mean. Yeah, no.
I'm stuffy. My brain is.
Hey! I'm feeding you a nice pass to get you the goal. You're good.
We're gonna with the first overall pick and the cup, and people are gonna be like, "What sort of sorcery is this?" And we'll be like, "It's Kyle Davidson sorcery." And I mean,
yes.
On another like hockey note, the Icemen have started this season out 2-0. They just won their second game in franchise history in Orlando today.
What is happening today with hockey and this random ass Sunday in like October? Like, hey, we're gonna all these things that aren't supposed to happen are gonna happen. And it's like, what? And what?
Also, be on a lookout on our Twitter and Instagram, because I think I'm gonna put it up on Instagram next week as well. Talkwell Hockey Pod. Of course, you should be watching this on YouTube. I'm so sorry if you've like seen me have to blow my nose. My allergies are donezo. Make sure you're subscribed, bell on, and then you can email us at letstalkabouthhockey@gmail.com. But on my Twitter today, I was like, it's recording day. And you want to know what I want to do? I want to see if people have questions. Because we're all a little confused. And we got a question from our besties at From Center Ice. They would like to know when the Patrick Kane goal drought ends. So I'm going to let you go first, Zach, while I again sneeze and try to rid myself of this congestion. So you go first, and then I will take over.
Gosh, I would never think I would have to be talking about when is Patty King going to score, because usually that's would already be done by now. I'm gonna say, oh geez, I'm hoping on Tuesday against Florida the drought ends, because. Well, you know what? If it's not Tuesday against Florida, but he's still getting us like points and stuff, I would love for him to do it. Storyline. I want storylines on this.
Okay.
I would love to see Florida because we want to end early. Mm-hmm. Here's the game I want. Like he's still going to get assists, but against Florida and Edmonton.
We're looking for Genos, not apples.
Right. But I'm just saying, as long as he's doing those in the interim, we're fine. Storylines. On the 20th,
the same date that I want, isn't it?
The 29th in Buffalo.
Yep.
In front of his family. I want to do it in front
I want PK the first to be there with PK3 and PK3's mama and PK's mama. I want them all there.
And all the sisters.
I want the whole fam bam. I want little PK3 down by the glass at the end of the game. So Patrick Kane can high-five him through the glass, because he did that after the game today. And y'all, I was emotional. Courtney and I were both emotional. We were texting. We were like, this is, again, we've talked about this before. Patrick Kane is the greatest character arc in NHL history.
By far. If
you look back at 2007, 2008, 2009 Patrick Kane, this is not the hockey player you would think that he was going to be. He was the reckless party boy who punched a cabbie and got drunk and just was living his best single boy life. And now, like, he wants to be a good dad, and he loves his kid, and he gives him high fives after games through the glass. And like,
we're here for it.
Today after the game, he was the second star of the game because he had his 2 assists. He sat on the bench for all 3 stars and congratulated the other 2 stars. Like, just sat on the bench and waited for them to come out. And Tyler Johnson was the number 1 star. I mean, the man had his first multi-goal game in a Blackhawks sweater. So obviously he's going to be the number 1 star.
Yeah.
But I mean, he just sat there and congratulated his teammates on having a good game.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, he skated over and gave little PK3 a high five through the glass. And Charlie Romeliotis, like, I love you so much for posting that picture, but like we need a content warning on PK2 and PK3 stuff. Like, we need to be prepared with like boxes of tissues and like ready to just cry the happiest ugly tears of our lives, because no one was expecting this from Patrick Kane. No one.
And you love to see it. And it's like, I have a Patrick Kane Winter Classic jersey, but I think with the Adidas jerseys they have now, or even just in the last couple of years, I think that has to be. I think I don't get a lot of the same player because you know, like to try to like spread the wealth out. But I think this season, at some point, even through a trade or a sale or something or whatever, I gotta get another Patrick Kane jersey because he is right now my favorite Hawk. I mean, I've always liked Patrick Kane, but this year and last year, I think I've liked him more over the last couple seasons.
Seeing his growth and development as a human being has been what's been like the thing for me, because he's always been a good hockey player. Like, he's always been exceptional. He is going to go down as the best American-born player to ever play the game.
I think someone on this podcast wrote that article.
Yes, like, and he's not anywhere near done, guys. Like,
no,
he's nowhere near the end. He is going to go down as the best American-born player to ever play the game. And I think that Patrick Kane is going to be my version of Announcer Dad's Bobby Hull.
Same.
Because my dad loves Bobby Hull. I mean, good, bad, and ugly. Because we all know, obviously, Bobby has had some personal issues, shall we say, and done some not cool things. Yeah. But like, my dad's happiest moment, he went to a Hawks game on his birthday a couple years ago when Bobby was still an ambassador with the team before he retired. And he'd met Bobby a couple times at like signings and stuff like that. And Bobby scooted up in his little scooter and looked at my dad and went, "What's up, Donnie?" Like,
just name drops him like it's no business.
Like, they're the best of friends.
Yeah.
And I mean, Patrick Kane is my Bobby Hull.
Yeah.
Like I think he is that guy. Like, when I mean, granted, he's like 2 whole years younger than me, which is insane.
Yeah.
But like, when he's a Blackhawks ambassador in 30 years and I'm like at the UC, whatever, like, he is the person that I'm going to seek out. He's the guy who I want to get an autograph from. He's the person I want to take a picture with. Like, I can't wait for him to have his statue at the United Center with Bobby and Stan.
Oh, and have his number retired, of course. To me, I'm going to say this, though. I think Patrick Kane, I know a lot of people might not like this take because we all love Stan Mikita. I think Patrick Kane will probably be the greatest Blackhawk ever, if not at least top 2. He'll be top 2 100%, but for me, I think he'll be the greatest Blackhawk of all time.
I'm going to adjust your take just a little bit.
Okay.
Patrick Kane will be the greatest ever salary cap era Blackhawk. Because no one can replace Stan for what he did on and off the ice.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
An amazing human being. It was so heartbreaking when they said that, you know, he was ill, and then when he passed, I mean,
yeah,
hearts broke across the hockey world. Stanislav Mikita was an amazing human being. Patrick Kane will be the greatest salary cap era Blackhawk that's ever played the game.
Okay,
he will for sure be the greatest American-born player to ever play the game.
Okay, I will accept that in terms of salary cap era. Yes, well, we'll say 1A, 1B for those guys.
Yes, I mean, there is nothing, and I mean, I don't want, like, Blackhawks fans, I'm trying to save my friend Zach over here. Please don't kill him in the comments, because we all love Stan Mikita. And
well, that's what I said. I love Stan Mikita. Like, no one's going to do anything for Stan Mikita. It's just Patrick Kane will be the greatest Blackhawk of the salary cap era.
He will have all the records. Like, don't get me wrong, he will have all the records.
He's 1B to Stan's 1A. We'll call it that. We'll make a compromise. It's not a 1-2. It's not who's better than who. It's a 1A, 1B, mutually exclusive. Yes. These are the 2 guys of all time.
These are the 2 greatest Blackhawks of all time.
Okay, we'll take that. So I'll readjust and we'll go with that as
Take.
my statement. Because like I said, I love Sam Akita. Don't get me wrong. I love
Comment section, please don't murder my co-host. Thanks.
Sam. I mean,
I love that when you do have these takes, though, we're like already an hour and a half into the episode. Because, I mean, granted, we've been talking a lot of Hawk stuff, but, you know, it might take people a few days to get to this point because this is a long episode. I mean, we're over our 90 minutes that we normally do.
sorry, guys. Well, we had a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we did. But I definitely agree with you. I don't think he's going to score before the Buffalo game. I think Buffalo is where he nets his first goal.
Oh, we're on the same page then, because that's like I would love to get it done sooner rather than later. But if for storyline purposes and happy tears, do it in Buffalo in front of the family.
With
we're here for it.
How perfect would it be if PK3 and Grandpa Kane were sitting by the glass like little Patrick Kane was in his rookie card from the 90s?
Oh
like
my
if
gosh.
That's where his dad and kid were sitting, and then he scored that goal.
They would. I hope
the world would fracture.
Well, I hope Patrick Kane's dad and PK3 are down at the glass for warm-ups, and Pat goes over to them and says what, like, you know, fist bumps them through the glass.
He always does. Like, he always finds PK3. Yeah. And when his dad's at the game, he always finds his dad. So
like, at the same time,
could you imagine, like, if they were sitting in those seats? And then we had like the PK3 rookie card from 2022.
Yeah. And we see Patrick Kane score a goal and celebrate and find them and all of that. Yeah.
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 So I think that pretty much covers all of the NHL / Blackhawk stuff, because there was a lot, because again, we are confused. But thank you for the question, though. Thank you for the question. Yeah, thank you for the question, Courtney and Jacqueline. We love you. They're at a Piggies game right now. So they're having fun with the Piggies' new mascot, which is just terrifying. Zach, you need to tweet out the picture of the new mascot so that our friends for the podcast can see him.
Well, should I share? What should I just go find one randomly? Or should I just share the one that
you should share the one that From Center Ice used? Because
all right, we will quote tweet it on our podcast so that way they can get the terrifying. He is terrifying. For sure. What's not so are we going to PHF next?
Oh, we are, because this is not terrifying. Okay,
what thing were you talking about first? Because there's something I really want to talk about with the PHF.
Thing first, I wanted to talk about the Whale Buttes. Okay. I know where you're going, because I know that it has to do with today. And I want to talk about the games I don't know. Maybe I don't know where you're going. Are we
talking about games today, or?
Yeah, the game today.
No, I'm just talking about a photo that dropped on PHF Twitter that I do want to talk about.
That'll be later.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about the games first, because that person has not played a preseason game yet.
Right.
And our Whale played their first preseason game Saturday, because we record on Sundays. And the Whale wiped the floor with the Buttes. The final score was 7-1. Wolfie scored 4 goals.
I think there was a lot of power play goals too. Like Wolfie went off. It's basically like, do you want to see a dead body? Do you want to, the Whale served up buffalo burgers.
Yeah, like they served all the pieces of the buffalo. Like we had bison burgers, we had buffalo burgers, and buffalo they even wings. Found like those come from chickens.
They're called buffalo wings, so we'll just go with
that. They found the buffalo sauce inside of the buffalo and just slathered everything in buffalo sauce. The Whale wiped the floor with the Buttes. Like, just Abby Ives was phenomenal as always.
I just hope that they save this for the regular season.
This is how they started the preseason last year.
Also very true. So very on brand for the Whale.
It is. It's whaley awesome that we're picking right up where we left off.
I do have to say though, I'm kind of sad of that for the graphics. It says penalty kill and that penalty
krill.
What? Yeah, that's the one thing I'm not happy with. Like social media team, I love the graphics we're doing because all the graphics recently have been very fire-esque.
The whole league graphics wise has just been like a next level.
It is
from last year.
But penalty kill instead of penalty krill, I'm not here for though. Bring penalty krill back. And
Well,
always
they'd
be right in
usually
the
do
world.
penalty krill in the tweet, and the picture has always said penalty kill.
Oh, has it? Oh,
Mhm.
I want to see penalty krill in the graphic because
I mean, I do too, but I also usually like reply to the tweet and I'm like, krill that penalty.
Yeah,
So
that
it's
works.
fine. But
That
I
works.
mean, the whale murdered the Buttes. There are no more Buffalo Buttes in Buffalo. They just got the floor wiped with themselves. It was a rough game. I was following the updates because I was actually at hockey yesterday.
Iceman.
So
There you go.
yeah, they won their home opener 5-2.
Go Iceman. Because
Yes.
now I'm now an Iceman this year.
You
thanks
are.
thanks
It's
to
true.
Beth. So yeah.
Not this year, sir.
Sorry. Forever. Yes.
Yes. Then today was the most exciting day PHF wise because the Montreal Force played their first ever game as a team today. Like, first Force game in the history of the PHF happened today. And it was a preseason game versus the Pride. Unfortunately, it did not end in the way that the the Force would have loved for that game to end, because they lost 3-1 to the Pride. However, Sarah LaFour did score the first ever goal in franchise history for the Montreal Force. Catherine Daou got the number 1 apple, and Sam Isbell got the number 2 apple. So they have gotten that. I feel like that's always with a new franchise, getting the first goal out of the way is always like the hard part.
Isn't it? But that's preseason goal. That's not.
It is, but it's still the first goal
as a franchise.
It is the first ever franchise goal, which is how they actually announced it at the game.
Okay.
Was the first franchise goal was from Sarah LaFour. So I feel like getting over that hump, like playing together against someone who aren't your teammates for the first time, and actually finding the back of the net.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I'm glad that they're playing some preseason games, because if this was November 5th, like,
yeah,
that
would be rough.
But the only issue I had with the Pride Force game, this is where I thought you were going, there was no commentary.
That is still pretty bad. Like,
there were hockey sounds, kind of, and crowd sounds. Like, they just it felt like they just like left a microphone on like above the scoreboard. And you could kind of hear the PA guy when he was making announcements. But
yeah, that's very ESPN. If you're gonna show a game, at least have something there for audio. Like, just throwing a game up and doing nothing with it is...
Plug into the arena audio. Have the audio be the announcer and the music. Like, don't just have an open mic somewhere to capture the crowd noise and whatever. Like, have it be the announcer so that we can hear when they say, like, Montreal Force first goal in franchise history scored by, instead of hearing Montreal Force first goal scored by. Like, it sounds like you're in a tunnel. Just hook it into the arena audio. It's not that hard. Teams do it all the time.
Yeah,
it's not that hard.
Yeah, it's ESPN. There's a lot of things we should do better. This just adds to the list of, like, get it together, please, because this wasn't it, Chief.
Do want to say that it might have... I mean, they weren't playing in either of their barns. They were playing in Burlington, Vermont. So they weren't in Connecticut. They weren't in Quebec. So they weren't in a barn that traditionally streams on ESPN Plus. So it could have been an equipment situation, but still.
I mean, there's like colleges in like not big name schools for, like, you know, they're some of their not big money sports that still have better commentary.
You mean like ACHA teams?
I'm talking about outside of, like, I'm not talking about like ACHA. I'm just talking about like the other sports, like soccer, softball, stuff like that, where they actually have commentary at like these Sun Belt or Conference USA, like, you know, those smaller conferences have better commentary, even if it's on ESPN Plus.
I'm gonna say something,
this is a professional game.
I'm gonna hate myself for this,
Oh gosh.
I would have taken Pierre Maguire on this broadcast over what the sound was. Like, look, Zach,
Ah.
come back. I wanted hockey words. Like, there was nothing. It was just like, it sounded like Charlie Brown's teacher whenever the PA announcer guy was announcing stuff. You heard some crowd noise, like if a camera panned to a kid, you heard like, ah!
Yeah.
But I needed something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
needed
no,
something.
I know.
But
That was like I said, it's like it's still a professional hockey game for the women's professional league. Like I said, like there's colleges with like their soccer or field hockey that actually get commentary for those games. And the fact that the professional hockey team, even if it's not in their normal barn, didn't get commentary.
yeah. I mean, we had commentary in the bubble when the commentators weren't even at the arena. So like, why was there no commentary?
Yeah, like you said, when they were in Lake Placid on this wasn't even ESPN, this was Twitch, and they still had commentary. Like I would have liked if they just went back to Twitch for like that game and something like it's something. Just no.
So we at least had the chat so we could talk to people. But I did notice something today on ESPN Plus, and it made my heart really happy. So after the Hawks game ended, I was switching over to the Pride Force game. And right next to the Pride Force game, oh, hey, Carly Jackson, how are you? She just liked our tweet. Yeah. But right next to the Force Pride game, there was Quinnipiac was playing. Their men's hockey team was playing. And it said NCAAM hockey.
Oh, yeah, that's nothing new. Like, they've done that for a while.
It hasn't been on ESPN like that, ESPN Plus like that. It said, like, no. It said, it used to say, like, NCAA hockey and then NCAA women's hockey.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But now it's NCAAM hockey. And NCAAW hockey.
That is really cool. It's about time they finally, caught up with that.
Yeah. Like in women's sports, we always have to celebrate the tiny wins. Like one day we will have gigantic steps and big wins to celebrate, but we have to celebrate the little ones.
Yeah.
Because those are, I mean, that distinction, the next organization we need to get on brand is the IIHF. Because they have the worlds and the women's worlds. No, you have the men's worlds and the women's worlds.
And the men and the juniors and the women's juniors.
Yeah. No, you have the men's juniors and the women's juniors. And you have boys hockey and girls hockey and co-ed hockey.
Yeah.
Like there's not hockey, co-ed hockey, and girls hockey. There's boys hockey, co-ed hockey, and girls hockey.
Yeah.
There's men's hockey and women's hockey. There's not hockey is the only difference between men's hockey and women's hockey in most leagues is body contact.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no difference in the game whatsoever. Nothing about the game changes.
Also no fighting.
No, you can fight in women's hockey. You get a game and a match penalty. But you can fight.
It's very rare that I forget there actually is fighting in women's hockey. It's just
at like the collegiate level, at the NCAA and the ACHA level for men's hockey. I mean, the rules are very similar when it comes to a lot of things like fighting. Yeah, because they understand like growing, developing like human brain situation is still happening. Yeah. So, but it's kind of the same like in college hockey. They've got to wear bubbles and cages.
Yep.
So, I mean, that right there can tell you that at the collegiate level, men's and women's hockey is identical because they're both wearing bubbles and cages. Fighting is not encouraged in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
The only difference is body contact.
Yep.
So, but go ahead to your thing that you wanted to discuss, my friend.
So a certain goalie that we like in the league that's not on our team. That really hasn't ever been on the whale, but someday, crossing our fingers, that would be nice because she's amazing. One Miss CJ, Miss Carly Jackson, aka Tough Mustard, aka just
The hair.
the sickest flow in the league. So she's got a new bucket. It's white. So I mean, I'm curious to see what the design is going to be if she is going to design it. The thing that got my attention was the amazing flow. That blonde mullet.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, like
Chef's kiss.
Still the sickest flow in the league.
Yeah. It really, I mean, I wish that I could pull off a mullet. I can't. I cut my hair short like several years ago, like pixie cut short. And part of the process of growing that out involves basically having a mullet. It was not cute. It was not cute at all.
Like I had a mohawk, which was like basically was long in the front, long in the back, and just the sides were shaved off.
Yeah.
It was decent. I kind of wish I just kept it like a normal mohawk or a normal mullet where like the front was kind of short.
Yeah,
went,
business in the front, party in the back.
Yeah, but I went long in the front and also long in the back. It's just the sides were shaved. Yeah, the shides were shaved. They were shaving the shides. But no, like Carly Jackson's mullet is still,
it's fire.
It's still peak. The fact that it's the platinum blonde look as well on top of that is just the flow is fantastic. We're here for it, and
I love it. I love it.
I just hope she gets decent ice time in Toronto because
but she's playing behind
Elaine Chuli and
the choo-choo train.
That's
kind of like another goalie in Connecticut. They're playing behind Abby Ives.
Yeah, because unfortunately Fuji is no longer there either, which
Fuji, we miss you. Fuji teased us. So earlier this summer, Fuji was like out with the old and in with the new. And it was her identical whale pads, just the old ones and the new ones. And I was like, Fuji's coming back to the whale. And then like a couple weeks later, she was like, I'm going to play overseas. And I was like, Fuji, no, Fuji.
We're not here for it.
It made me sad, but like I wish her all the best. I hope that she comes. We have had like a return, like there was a small contingent of the whale pod that like went off and crossed the Atlantic Ocean while like the rest of the whale pod like swam down to Florida. And I feel like this off season, a lot of the whale pod that swam over across the Atlantic have made their way back to the whale.
Yeah.
Because there have been several like returning players who weren't on the roster last year.
Yeah.
So
it's for me, it stinks where the fact that Fuji's gone, it's terrible. It's just for me, it's like Carly Jackson deserves to be a starting goalie somewhere. And I understand that like some teams have their goalies set, but at the same time, it's like to me, she's not a backup. She's not a backup goalie. I
would have loved to see CJ go to Montreal.
Yeah, either Montreal or Minnesota or something. Like,
I mean, we would have preferred to have her come to Connecticut.
Well, of course, but with the goalie situation is here, it's also kind of tough.
And it's also really good.
Yeah. That would have been tough to pull out. Like, because Boston wasn't going to happen because, I mean, let's be honest.
No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, when you got double Ocho in that with like a sub 1.5 goals against average and a save percentage at like well into the 9.5s, that's going to be a little tough. It's just this is why I wish we need more expansion because goalies like CJ should be a starter. I wish
we had gotten both expansion teams this year.
That really sucks. They said we were going to get 2 and they reduced it to 1.
Yeah,
because like I said. Carly Jackson is a starting goalie.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. She is.
And
she deserves her time. But
I mean, I'm happy for her that she's still on a roster and stuff like that, and she's going to be back in Chuli, which is a good someone to watch. And
that's a good person to learn from. Elaine Chuli is a phenomenal tendy. And
yeah, nothing to take away from Elaine Chuli, but
we love our CJ, and she's amazing. She scored a goal in an All-Star game for crying out loud.
Yeah. With shades on and a normal stick, not a goalie stick either. Yeah. Like that card is going to be fire.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, just like I said, but we have to praise some really sick mullets and some nice flows.
We do. And honestly, I'm 50-50 because I'm not a big fan of white masks. But I also kind of hope she keeps it white. But also, I hope she has some sort of sick design planned.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, I'm torn because I don't know. So
we are a jacked mustard bottle because she's tough. She's tough
with
mustard.
with like a mullet painted on the back, like the hair painted.
Yeah, the hair paint on the back. Have like a jacked
and
up
have
mustard
it like
bottle.
come up the front.
Yeah.
I love it. So
Yeah.
Zachary, where can the humans find you on the internet?
You can find me at One True Zach. That's ONE True Zach. It's spelled out, not just the number one like Theo Neaters. So that's where you can find me on Twitter. Gonna incorporate more Hawks tweets into my account because we gotta show the Hawks some love. So
They need it.
Yeah. I've had it. It's been a slow process to get fully incorporated back with all that. So it's taken me some time. I mean,
worst case scenario, you guys can just hop on over to my Twitter, which is at WonderBeffers, because I try to, if I am able, because I have season tickets to a local hockey team. The PHF exists. Like, I try my best to tweet as many games as I can. However, I have a lot of hockey in my life, so it's not easy.
Same for me. We try our best with Blackhawks content. It's tough. We have a lot of.
Sometimes it might only be a tweet or two when like something really amazing happens. It might only be a tweet or two. However, we try. So if you don't see it on Taco Hockey Pod, you can head on over to at WonderBeffers, which is again where we always confuse people because it's the word wonder like wonderful, not the number one.
You mean like how I wondered what happened to the Oneaters?
Exactly.
That joke will never die because you won't let me let it die. It's been requested to be used every episode, and we're on 28 straight.
It's true. And just to bring the sad full circle, we would like to thank all of you for listening to the Henry Yoki Haru episode of Let's Talk Low Hockey. I have been your host, Beth. That is my dude, Zach. We greatly appreciate you. Make sure you're following us on all the socials and you're subscribed to us on YouTube. And we will see you next week, where I'm sure this board will confuse us even more because right now it says 3-2-0, and that's not how you tank. So we will see you guys next time, where we try to figure it all out.
Watch it be a 7 next time.
Look, I'm so confused. We will figure it out. We will catch you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this Belly Up Media production. Some said we'd go belly up, so we made it our name. And we're still